This is probably the most underrated opening response to 1d4. I'm still talking about the Mujannah formation, which begins as follows. After d5, you just play pawn to f5 and go take a walk. To me, this looks like the improved Dutch defense combined with the old Benoni, so it shouldn't be a very bad opening. After all, if you check the Masters database, you'll still find some games. So what matters the most is knowing your strategies. Of course, Stockfish doesn't really like this, but I mean, if super grandmasters have played this before against their fellow human opponents, who are you not to try this? You're not going to be playing Stockfish. Forget about that old jealous man called Stockfish. As I always say, Stockfish is very childish. So I just finished playing a very good game featuring this Mujannah formation, which is on the board. And if you want to know how I got 94% accuracy, stay tuned and watch up to the end. This won't be boring, I promise. I just beat my opponent with this Mujannah formation. Let's go. Right, playing against a 2096 rated opponent, and it's time to play the Mujannah formation. c5, f5. I'm sure my opponent won't be familiar with this system that I developed or pushed some weeks ago. In this position, I was expecting my opponent was going to play c4, which is the top played move in the Lichess database. But anyways, knight c3 is still the top played move in the Masters database. So the idea is to finish my kingside development first with g6 and bishop g7 before playing pawn to d6. That's what I said. You always want to start with knight f6 to avoid the move e4, which is the stun turn move. And whenever you see bishop g5, just know that your opponent wants to mess up your pawn structure on the king side. Should you play something like g6, so they would take and then you would take back. That's okay, but it's not what you want to run into due to pawn to d6 in some variations. But even that is fine. So the move to consider in this position is queen b6, which attacks the b2 pawn and also defends your knight. Okay, so opponent just played queen d2. I don't really understand the reason. I can just take if I want to, but I'm sure white is going to play rook b1 and then I have to start running. So here, let me just continue with g6. So the idea is to put my bishop on g7. Yep. And now I'm eyeing the b2 pawn like for real. So imagine if I play knight e4, I'll just be one move away from checkmating my opponent. I hope that won't be the case, because this video will be too short. You know, I've had situations where I start a game and win in like 8 moves, making the video become too short. So it is in these kinds of positions where you can consider playing pawn to d6 after you've already completed your development on the king side. And now we see this move that I was talking about, e4. Given a chance, you always want to chase the dark squared bishop. If bishop takes, you take back with your dark squared bishop. That will be advantageous for you. Or maybe I should have tried pawn takes, and after pawn takes, then knight takes. In fact, that's what I'm going to do if white retreats the bishop. I'll just take and sacrifice my knight. Oh, okay. So there we see that move. I can still take. Next, I want to take with my knight, attacking both the queen and the other knight. Remember that I have checkmate. So I can just take. If white takes, the video will be too short. I'll just take with my queen and not with my hands. So see my Mujannah bishop sitting on g7, spying on that poor pawn on the b2 square. So this is definitely an opening to try even in serious games, serious tournaments. Oh, I didn't see that coming. Bishop b5 check, but I have knight d7 blocking the check with my queen's knight and not with my elbow. And it's always great to take with your king when you're playing the Mujannah formation. In fact, the safest square for your king in the Mujannah formation is the d8 square. I talked about all these in my first tutorial video, so never be ashamed of playing king d8 or king d7. Now you can activate your rook like I have done. Rook e8, e5. Okay, let me just take now. The burden is just too much. Yep, that leaves the g4 pawn hanging. I can even protect it like this and try to trap the queen somehow, even though there's bishop g5. Yeah, like my opponent took so long to play an obvious move. Let's attack the bishop. Next, I plan to activate my rook because it's not doing anything on h8. I mean my king's rook. What is that? Counter-attacking my bishop. I think white just helped me repositioning my bishop on a better square. It's more active on f5 than where it was. Yeah. So now I can activate my h rook just like I said. And I have other intentions to play e4. Yep. I mean bishop d4, not e4. And maybe queen s6. Oh, let's just trade. 11 seconds. I should be careful with my time. Check. Should get rid of my weakness anytime soon. Oh, that's a beautiful one. That's a good one. Let's get rid of our weakness. What am I doing? Oh, okay. That's my savior. I didn't see this move at first. I thought I completely lost. I think I still have a great position, if I'm not mistaken. What is that? My opponent just blundered in a time scramble. And they just resigned. They can't fight my... or they couldn't fight my bishop pair. Respect to my opponent for holding on. That was close, but I think I did justice. I played well. Or maybe, yeah, I hanged a pawn on g4. These are tactics that many players lose to. I forgot that my rook on f7 was not defended. So my opponent just took on g4 with their knight. And now I couldn't take due to rook takes. I was going to be down an exchange. So that's why I just decided to leave everything like that. But I think my opponent had a better move in this position. But before I proceed,
What's wrong with your eyeballs?
Can't you see the subscribe button, you guys? Simply move your elbow connected to your thumb that presses on the phone or on the laptop, whatever. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more exciting videos. And also support my partners, these guys, the Ask Chess GPT group that sponsored this video. It's just a YouTube channel that allows you to ask them questions directly to get video responses or video answers. If you have a chess related question, simply head over to the comment section. You will find the link that will direct you to the community chat where you can ask anything related to chess and expect to get video responses as soon as possible. See, in this position, white played knight h2. After I played e6, they played knight h2. I think they should have played something like, wait a second. Oh, no. Actually, this was the best. Or maybe not the best. Oh, okay. In fact, I even made a mistake. After white took on g4, I should have taken on d5, protecting my rook this way. So I didn't even make a big mistake. So instead of playing bishop f3, I should have started with this. Rook takes, and maybe take, I don't know. The knight was going to be hanging, but you see, from a human's perspective, I found bishop f3 to be logical. After knight takes g4, I should have taken on d5, not what I played. What did I do? I played e6, but Stockfish says I was still doing great, or I was still winning. Yep, and after knight h2, that's when I took on h5. Thanks to my eyeballs for helping me find this move, also protecting my rook. So I didn't even make a blunder. Let me request the computer's analysis to see how I scored. Okay, so let's see the results. 94% accuracy. Can you imagine? Anyway.
To ask your questions, simply head over to our partner's Patreon page by clicking the link on our YouTube homepage. Join the free membership to start posting your chess questions, and we'll do our best to answer the most interesting and engaging ones in a short video, plus give you a shout out. For those who want priority responses and more frequent shout outs, you can also subscribe to our partner's Patreon page with a paid membership. Here's how to ask your first question. After clicking the link on our YouTube homepage and setting up your free membership account on our partner's Patreon page, go to the Community tab. Agree to the chat guidelines, then navigate to the Ask Chess GPT chat. Type your chess question, like this one. How do I checkmate my opponent in the opening stage in 2 moves? In response, you might get something like this. To checkmate your opponent in 2 moves, assume you're playing black and your opponent opens with the Barnes opening by playing f3. After this weak opening move, you can push your pawn to e5. If they follow up with another poor move, like g4, you can checkmate by playing queen h4, winning the game in just 2 moves. And that's it. We look forward to hearing from you. Don't forget to subscribe to help us grow and continue improving our content.